Gurur-Brahma, Gurur-Vishnu, Guru-Devo Maheshwara, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Yapyat Sarvam Trilokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vedya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Jai Guru. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we are continuing to make our way through the 4th chapter. So what verse are we on this evening?
We're on verse 19.
Verse 19. You help us out, please. Of course. You have enough light?
Yeah. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjita jnanagnidagdha karmanam tamahu panditam buddha. Whose undertakings are all devoid of desires and purposes, and whose actions have been burned by the fire of knowledge. Him the wise called a sage.
So again, this is an echo of what we covered in the 2nd chapter in the Sthita Prajna Purusha section. So if we reference Adi Shankara in Vivekachudamani, one of his most important sections and most powerful is the qualifications of a fit student. And in Shankara's writing especially, although it's also true in Gita, whenever we have a list of things, the most important are listed first. So in Shankara's section on the qualifications of a fit student, does anyone remember what the first qualification is? Viveka. The firm conviction in the intellect that Brahman alone is real and the phenomenal world is unreal is considered discrimination between the real and the unreal. Number 2, vairagya, detachment or dispassion That desire, I love the way he frames it because we don't achieve it overnight. That desire to give up attachment to all experiences gained through the senses, and that desire to renounce all forms of self, identification with all forms of self, starting from the body up to and including the form of Brahma, the creator, meaning I'm a powerful person, or I'm going to be some super celestial being after I die, etc. So let's go into this. Understand, it does not mean we don't experience the phenomenal world. That's not possible. And it doesn't mean we don't enjoy. It means we don't have attachment. So it's a beautiful day in the Bay Area. I think at what, 7:50 or something like that, we will have sunset. If we were all out at Ocean Beach in San Francisco, we could sit there on the beach and watch the sunset in San Francisco. It's just beautiful. But you can't be attached to a sunset. Oh, I'm so sad. The sunset is over. Nobody does that. Well, let's get in a boat and sail west so we can keep looking at the sunset. No. We can appreciate its beauty. We can enjoy without attachment. So this is the idea. We give up sangraha, this gripping of everything in the world. It's all our possessions. It means all our relationships. Doesn't mean we don't enjoy our friends or family. But many of us have experienced already the death of loved ones. It's an inevitability. Or if you're a parent and all of a sudden a child doesn't do what you want them to do. They do not come from us, they come through us. Jobs. So many of us with bank accounts this past week, all these ups and downs, the stock market. Who knows what's going to happen? One of the things Krishna says is there is no one more fearful than a wealthy person. Inside, we have to always be a sannyasi. And looking at those negative kleshas, those afflictions, those defilements, grieving, sadness, anger, those are the two big ones for most of us. Why am I sad? Most of us are sad because I have a deeply rooted belief that people, places, things, and situations are what cause my happiness, and the loss of them or the lack of them are what make me sad. Now, let me give a little bit of a caveat here. Some of us have brain chemistry that isn't normal. And we have what the doctors call clinical depression, or some of us might even be bipolar, which means that we may have depression that is not situational. It's not because of unresolved psychological issues, although sometimes it really is. I may be hanging on to some childhood grief. So, what yoga suggests is we practice this renunciation. It's the desire itself, the craving itself, that is my suffering. Doesn't mean we don't work, doesn't mean we don't enjoy, but always with detachment. Always understanding whatever happiness I gain through the world is not inherent in the Vishaya, the objects of the world. It's a taste of myself. And the other one, anger, krodha. Why am I angry? In yoga, the definition of anger is thwarted desire or unmet expectation. I'm pissed off because I didn't get what I want, or I had an expectation that a situation would be a particular way, and it isn't. That's for us to look at. So I always like to say it's a spiritual axiom that if I'm disturbed, no matter the cause, no matter what the externals are, I'm the one with the klesha. Klesha, again, means defilement, affliction. I'm the one with the expectation. I'm the one who's not getting what I want. I'm the one with the control issue. Now, listen very carefully. Human minds are very interesting and sometimes quite perverse. We can be attached to suffering. We can have our identity wrapped up with, I'm an abused person. I'm a victim of situations. I have suffered so much. And what ego strategy is always, I'm just a little bit better than everybody, I'm the winner. Or it can also be identified and attached, I have it worse than everybody. And then we start running that tape, that self-tape of self-pity. And that can be just as destructive as the attachment to things. We can be attached to our suffering. Now, psychologists will tell us, work on finding out what the cause of it is, some childhood trauma. I have PTSD, getting in touch with those traumas, and there is some value to it. But too frequently, we can go to the psychiatrist or the psychotherapist or the psychologist, and after much therapy, We know why we're so unhappy. But as Werner Erhard used to say, understanding is the booby prize. It does not change. Yoga says these are habituated flows of thought. And we have a word in the tradition which I really, really love. The word vritti. Is it also a Hindi word?
Mm-hmm.
What's it mean in Hindi?
Same. Same.
Vritti
Tendency.
means to sing.
The same meaning.
Oh, the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the root is vert, which means to turn. It's where we get the English word vortex. So if you see a giant ocean liner being spun around in a whirlpool in the ocean, or you go out and well, Ashley's been there. Had a tornado lately, Ashley?
We had some recently.
Yeah. I mean, these vortexes are powerful. And what happens is we can have a thought flow and then we just start spinning. We get caught in a loop and we can't get out, and it feels like it sucks us down. Who's had this experience? And what we have to learn to do is turn the mind into different thinking. Now it's interesting. I have a student who's been visiting for the past few weeks. He's actually from Australia, and he's taking a Vedanta course in India. And the Mataji, who's giving the course, has given them the assignment to do an hour of japa every day. Who remembers what japa is?
Like
Hmm?
the repetition of the name.
Repetition of a mantra or a name, yes. Why is japa valuable?
Controls your mind.
Pardon me?
Controls your mind.
It turns the mind away from these habituated vortices. Mind wants to start spinning, you bring it back. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Because the trauma, the self-pity, the low self-esteem, all that is just a habituated form of thinking. Now, just because it's habituated, I'm not saying it's not incredibly powerful. It's incredibly powerful. Now, the mantras also have a vibrational quality. So like your chanting guru, I'm sure she'll give you a chant because it has a particular vibration. Is that right?
Yeah.
But the principle is to turn the mind into another venue. So chanting the name of the Lord is the thought replacement, is what the tradition suggests. Simple. And causation hunting in the end will not fix them. You understand why you're miserable, but you're still miserable. You have to change And there are all sorts of techniques. If you wake up in the morning with gloom and doom as your habit when you wake up, how do they say, rather than saying, God, it's morning, you go, oh God, it's morning. One of the techniques, a simple one, is what we call a gratitude list. Rather than reviewing our miseries and what's so terrible, sit down. Might even help to take pen to paper. Write down 10 things for which you're grateful. These are ways to turn the mind away from those habits of thinking. So here, what's the phraseology in the shloka? Whose person of renunciation, mind is renounced.
Whose undertakings are all devoid of desire and purpose.
Yes. So once we have given up the idea, I'll be happy when, if I do this, it'll make it all better. All it'll ever be is different. Because happiness is an inside job. And the way is through intense vairagya. Learning to let go. To not be attached to people, places, things, and conditions. Doesn't mean we don't act in the world. Do your duty. Fulfill your worldly responsibilities. But with this deep understanding, the juice, the joy, the peace, the security is never out there. So that's the first part, about whose mind is devoid of desire, expectation. What's the second part of the verse? I'm having a senior moment here.
And whose actions have been burnt by the fire of knowledge.
Yes. So, who is doing the acting? Two ways we can look at it. One, as we said back in the third chapter, guna and karma, the qualities of mind and the force of the past. There's no individual me really doing the action. Or you can take on the thought, the Lord, Krishna does all the acting. I stand back and am simply the witness. The attitude that gets us in trouble is, I, Jim, do this action successfully or as failure, and I don't do that action. That's what gets us into trouble. And the other thing to be aware of is the self does not act. Remember last week we dealt with what is action in the midst of actionlessness. What is actionlessness in the midst of action? The equipment always acts, and the self is kutastha, still and established by a mouth, like a mouth. What causes the mind to be unhappy? Kama, craving, spriha, longing, trishna, thirsting, vancha, wanting, krodha, anger, because I'm not getting what I want, bhaya, fear, lose what I have, or I won't get what I want. All based in spiritual ignorance. Any thoughts on this? Next verse.
त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रय कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः. Having abandoned attachment to the fruits of action, ever content, depending on nothing, he does not do anything, though engaged in actions.
Yes. So abandoning attachment. Let life go by like a movie. Let the robot, I call it, the body, mind, intellect, the android. Let it act in the world as it will. It's prarabdha karma, the karma of this lifetime. But you stand back as the uninvolved, unattached witness of it all. Again, Swamiji used to say, I do nothing, I go nowhere. Life passes in front of me. Giving up the idea somehow I need to make circumstances different. And we've all had a worldly experience of this in traffic. There you are caught in traffic and you have an appointment and you're going to be 20 minutes late and you try to push the traffic with your heart. Road rage. Because you can't control it. And then most of us at some point will finally go, you get out your phone, you say, caught in traffic, ETA 4:35. And then you relax. You're at peace. You didn't get what you wanted. Your traffic didn't move any differently. But you gave up the jonesing. And that brought us peace. Doesn't mean not to work for justice. It doesn't mean not to endeavor to excel at what you do. A yogi always strives for excellence. But it's not about the payoff is the approval of other people, or the punishment is somebody doesn't like what I do. I'm not trying to be teacher's pet in life. Do what you do because you love it. Or do what you do because you have responsibilities. You've got a child to feed. You've got a company to run. You've got obligations to other people. We do our duty. And I promise you, at moments in life, you will fall short of your expectations. Right? One of my favorite prayers is, oops. So what? We find that making a mistake does not touch the self. Equipment always acts. The self never acts. And Swamiji always used to say the way to heal the mind is to get out of the mind. When I'm in the mind, its reactivity to conducive and non-conducive situations is so intense. But when I step back and just witness, I start to just let the play go by. The volume level on our reactivity starts to turn down. I can say to the machine there, Alexa, lower volume. Say to your mind, Manas, lower volume. How? Step back. Any thoughts on the practice that's implied here? The paradox, too, is when we're shitala, cool, the mind is clearer, it is most powerful and most insightful, most capable of problem solving. I have a student who's a mid-level manager for the FAA. Everybody there just loves working with him and for him because he's no drama. He just gets the task done. He manages people with direct communication. He doesn't get his self with a small s all engaged with it. Just does his duty. Now, much of this I think he learned in the military, but it's also yoga. No drama. And you've managed lots of people. You know, if a manager is all emotional and is taking things personally or tries to manage by intimidation, is that in the end successful?
No, either the team walks away or you walk away. You get washed out
Yeah.
if you indulge too much in emotions.
Yeah. So what kind of a manager at those corporate levels is most successful?
You have to remain objective and fair.
Yes. Yeah. It's a good recipe for life. Remain objective and fair. What does remain objective mean? Suss that out for us.
So always have the goal in mind. Don't lose track of where we are going, whether it's a conflict resolution or driving something to completion. Hear everyone. If there's conflict, unpack that with compassion, but with sticking to the facts rather than finger pointing,
Yeah.
getting emotional, angry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay away from personalities. Deal with facts, deal with principles, be solution oriented. This is the practical benefits of yoga. Makes you an effective person in the world. Antithetically, if there's a manager who takes everything personally when some subordinate is angry or upset and becomes vengeful or retaliatory, they're mean to me. I get you nowhere. that it sure increases your stress level. Or from the other side, if you're a subordinate and you've got a manager who's asking unjust and unrealistic things of you, if you're in fear of losing your job, what's going to happen? You've been in that environment. Makes you nuts, doesn't it?
Yeah, that does make you emotional.
And if you can find the inner sannyasi, I'm willing to walk away. But if you found, when you found that inner sannyasi,
Then there's a deep acceptance of any outcome.
there's what?
A deep acceptance of any outcome.
But you're also willing to tell the truth, to negotiate.
Or to take the steps for the outcome you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're all emotionally engaged and fearful, you won't do it. And it allows you to also act with integrity. We have a fellow who comes on Sunday nights who's involved in a big multi-million-dollar business deal. And come to find out the people with whom he was doing business, he didn't know it in the beginning, but they're unethical people. And they want him to be unethical. But he's a yogi. He says, no, I'm not going to do that. But you could only move through the world like that with detachment. So Krishna says, as we get further into this process of karma yoga, yoga is skill in action. It's actually the attitude that makes us most effective in the world. All right, next one.
Nirashirya chitatma tyakta sarva parigraha shariram kevalam karma kurvannapnoti kilbisham. Without hope, with the mind and self-controlled, having abandoned all possessions, doing mere bodily actions, he incurs no sin.
Yes. So sin here, the papam, means it does not leave this deep impression in the unconscious of vasana, which encrusts the psyche, clouds our perception, ultimately robs us of self-experience. So let's parse this one because it gives us real practical exercises in contemplation, sadhana, practices to do. First idea,
Without hope.
hope here, it doesn't mean you don't hope that, oh, I really want self-realization. Oh, I really hope this project at work comes to fruition. Doesn't mean that. The hope that you are to abandon is this deeply rooted belief. I don't have enough. I'm in a state of spiritual poverty. I need more, better, different in order to be happy. Here's a way to look at the practice. What if life, what if the world What if your life is going to be just as it is right now for the rest of eternity? How are you going to be at peace? Give up facing serenity, happiness, peace of mind on a future outcome. This is it. Now, I promise you the situations will change. They always do. But the klesha, the affliction, is not that the world is wrong. It's because I have an attachment. I have a craving. I have an aversion. And if I deal with the klesha, the defilement, the affliction, then the world is just the world. So we work. We work in the world without this hope. Oh, if I get the promotion, then it'll be better. Oh, if I just buy a bigger house, it'll be better. Oh, if I just get the relationship, oh, then I'll be happy. If I get rid of the relationship, then I'll be happy. Karma will take its course. But the yogi detaches their peace of mind from the externals. It's not complacency. Some people get a wrong idea. Oh, I'm just a garbage collector, that's what I do. And I have to accept it and just be a garbage collector. No. If you want to go to school and do something else, knock yourself out. Go for it. But I promise you, that's not the answer to all the problems of existence. It'll just be different. Oh, dog pooped on the front porch. Oh, it's fate. I just have to accept. No, clean it up. Deeper understanding. Okay, so abandoning hope. What's the next idea?
With the mind and self-controlled.
So self here, we mean the self with a small s. It means beginning to give up ego's drives for security, for approval, for attention, for status. No personal sense of self is real. Someone gives you a compliment, you graciously say thank you and let it pass through. Someone criticizes you, let it pass through. If something that you do in the world is successful, give the glory to God. And if something you do in the world is a failure, it's egg on God's face, not yours. You be empty. And then how do we control the mind? We learn. Just because I have an impulse doesn't mean I need to act on it. Doesn't mean I need to say something. And when we stop empowering our reactivity, then impulses start to leave the realm of compulsion. They just become desires. And in time, they just become a thought. They no longer tyrannize us. The screaming voices of Raga and Devesha must have it this way. I'll never do that or have that. I call it the inner 2-year-old. I want ice cream. I don't want to eat my broccoli. We have to not be tyrannized by the impulses. And it takes practice. This is one of the great benefits of long meditation and meditation retreats. Because when you're sitting in meditation and all of a sudden some big fear arises, you both have done like Vipassana retreats, haven't you? Mm-hmm. What do you do when these things in the mind arise out of the unconscious?
You observe it.
Yeah, just don't do something, sit there. Guess what happens to them?
They come and go.
They come and they go. But if we don't feed them with the energy of acting on them, again, the volume level goes down and down and down. Next idea.
Having abandoned all possessions.
Yes. This doesn't mean you run around in a loincloth and a begging bowl. The abandonment, the tyagaha, is interior. Everything is mine to use. Nothing is mine to own. Now, when I was in the Chinmaya ashram in 93, I think I've told you the story about the brahmachari who got all upset about his rubber bucket. Maybe new people who don't know this story. So we all wore dhoti and kurta. Guys had their heads shaved. The ladies got to keep their hair white sari. But you had a tiny little room. You had a metal bed with a thin cotton mattress, a desk with a lamp and a dresser for your clothes, and a rubber bucket. You lived out of a rubber bucket. You bathed with the rubber bucket. You cleaned your room with your rubber bucket. You washed your clothes with the rubber bucket. And, you know, pretty renounced. There was this one brahmachari who was just absolutely livid with rage because the brahmachari in the room next to him used his rubber bucket. So the sangraha was still there. So the world is not the issue. Again, we have to have interior tyaga, abandonment, interior sannyas. Nothing is mine to own. Or I like to say, everything is on loan from God, And God is the ultimate repo man. You never know when it's going to be taken away, including the body. And there's no written contract. You never know when the lease is up. And the Lord says, okay, car gone, home gone, job gone, relationship gone. Something else may come. Okay, thank you, God. Enjoy, but it's on loan. Any thoughts on this? Next one.
Doing mere bodily action.
Yes. So the body will continue to act through the world, impelled by the force of the past and the qualities of the mind. Just watch it. Do your duty. Don't be a jerk. Act with integrity. Do good, be good. Serve the society. But you stay out of it. You ever be the uninvolved, unattached witness. Out. Now again, this is a practice. Try it. See if this doesn't bring you peace. All right, that's the whole shloka, right?
He incurs no sin.
Yes, meaning no negative impressions are left in the unconscious when we act in this way. So we exhaust vasana without creating new ones. Okay. Do you need something?
No, I'm good. Just my reading glasses.
Oh, all right, next verse.
Yadrichala dvandvatito vimatsara samasiddha siddhavasiddhau cha kritvapi na nipathyate. Content with what comes to him without effort, free from the pairs of opposites and envy, even-minded in success and failure, though acting he is not bound.
Yes. So again, the purpose of karma yoga is to exhaust vasana without creating new ones. The vasanas will arise, they will impel us into activity. No blame. Every being is impelled into action by the force of prakriti, their nature. What can restraint do? But we act with a particular attitude, which makes all the difference in the world. So again, let's parse this one because there's practice implied. First idea.
Content with what comes to him without effort.
Yes. So again, doesn't mean we don't work in the world. But give up the idea that getting what I want is going to make me happy. And if good things happen, be thankful. Always understanding their temporary nature. Sometimes I will hear people say, oh, I felt so connected to God today. I hit all the green lights on my way here, and I talked with so-and-so, and it was a God shot, and then I got this, I found some money, and yada, yada, yada. And they equate being connected with God with getting what they want. Goodies happen, cash and prizes. That's not what the spiritual life gives us. Life is a sine wave. I get positive things, I have negative things, positive things, negative things. The shape of that sine wave is karma. As you go through life, you will get your allotted dose of successes and failures, plaudits and criticism. But what we want to do is step back. Step back. Don't get attached when the good happens. Always keeping in mind it's temporary. And not devastated when things fall away. The wave comes in, the wave goes out. The moon is full, the moon wanes, and waxes. Everywhere in life is this cyclic activity. So it is with the things of life. So the yogi is content with what comes and not discontent when it goes. Next idea.
Free from the pairs of opposites and envy.
Free from the dvandvas. The root is dvi, which means two. Dvandva is a reduplicated root. The pairs of opposites. Normally we think of heat and cold. These are the pairs of opposites of pleasurable and unpleasurable physical sensations. Sometimes I feel sick. Sometimes I've been to the gym and I feel fabulous. Sukham dukham cha. Sukham, happiness, worldly happiness. Dukham, suffering. Let me tell you the truth about happiness and suffering. When the situation is conducive, according to the card file in my mind about what I think stuff is good, the mind is happy. When the situation, the environment is non-conducive, according to my card file, unhappy. It is so mechanical and so repetitive and so boring. Who got upset this week? Tell me this is the first time you felt that. Same relationship, only the names and faces change. Same issue around money, only the external circumstances vary. Over and over and over again. Aren't you tired of it? It's so boring. Get out. Siddha, asiddha. Success and failure, accomplishment, non-accomplishment, are simply the judgments that the intellect makes. I'm okay, I'm not okay. Just more stupid ideas. It's not about trying to make them stop. Step back. You are the consciousness that always illumines. You are never touched by it. Let it go. Freed from the pairs of opposites. Next idea.
Even-minded in success and failure.
Same idea. Keeping this equality of mind. Earlier he called it samadrishta, equality of vision. Same idea. Same idea. It isn't that bad things won't happen, but we can match calamity with serenity. We don't get overstimulated and all wackadoodle when the good things happen. Acknowledge it, give thanks. Clear knowledge. This too will pass. I mean, it is such great yoga to watch the stock market this week. Even minded. All gonna be okay. And it doesn't mean being in denial and withdrawing from life. It's not about running away from life. It's about keeping the samadrishta as we move through life. Is that all on this one? Is there another idea?
Though acting, he is not bound.
Yes. Though the person acts, the various actions don't leave this impression. There's not the chintya, the after the fact rumination over the success or failure. I did this good thing happened to me, or I screwed this up, I am a failure. All that noise is gone. So we exhaust the vasanas without creating. All right, next verse.
Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavasthita chetasa yagyayacharata karma samagram praviliyata. Of one who is devoid of attachment, who is liberated, whose mind is established in knowledge, who acts for the sake of sacrifice, all his actions are dissolved.
Yes. So again, this is the putting the customer in touch with the benefits of the product. What he's doing here now. So the first idea.
Of one who is devoid of attachment.
Yes. So if we can develop more and more this intense spirit of detachment, acting in the world, giving up attachment to the fruits of action and the sense of agency. Second idea.
Who is liberated.
Yes. I am free. Now listen very carefully. Many of the scriptures invite us to be a mumukshu. What is a mumukshu?
A seeker of knowledge.
Seeker after liberation. And that's an important drive in the beginning. We subordinate all our worldly desires into the desire for liberation. But as we progress, don't try to be an enlightened person. know that you are Brahman. You've got romantic ideas about what it is to be a liberated person. Then that becomes another worldly desire. What is moksha? What is liberation? It is the deeply rooted conviction based on direct experience. Not that I'm an enlightened person, not that I'm a Mahatma. What do the Upanishads say? Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. And I give up identification with the body, mind, intellect, the robot. Let it fulfill its function in God's plan. Next idea.
Whose mind is established in knowledge.
Yes. Oh, yes. So it's not only I have the sthita prajna, the steady wisdom for all circumstances. I never forget that I am Brahman. But the way Shankara talks about it, one who's a full knower of the Supreme, who has retired into the Supreme. The yogi has this trick of being able to let go of the extroversion of the mind. Many expressions, Atmaramana, this reveling in the sound. Vidyaranya has a wonderful one. Ramananda Rasa Swad, tasting swad, the juice rasa of the bliss of Brahma. Why is this important? Because the mind returns to the experience that's given it the greatest joy. And if drug, sex, and rock and roll is what really is giving you the greatest joy, that's where your mind's going to go. Even though you wish it wouldn't. Thank God, God is the most beloved, or we'd all be screwed. So this is why it's so important to develop a meditative practice. This is why it's so important to be able to tune up the mind. This is one of the values of a sangha, keeping holy company. This association with the wise. Sadhu sangha. He would go be with Swamiji and he was so empty. He learned to tune to it. He would show us this awakened state of mind. It's what he called a borrowed glory. Our job now, you go and establish yourself there. Over and over. Some more pieces to this verse.
Last one, last couple. Who acts for the sake of sacrifice.
Oh, yes. So, why or how should the person act in the world? It's going to be looked at in two ways. First, serve the society. act with ahimsa, non-injury to others and to yourself. And then, as we discussed in the prior chapter, when we work in the world and we get what we want, when desire and object of desire become one, for the fool, he thinks, oh, that widget really did it. For the yogi, desire and object of desire become one. She says, that really stopped my mind. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Even worldly enjoyment becomes the meditation. In the end, there's no such thing as worldly pleasure. It's not bad, it just doesn't exist. There's only the bliss of the self. We can do it in a small way, in a mediated way, through the medium of the Vishaya, the worldly objects. Don't do it directly. Just let go. Vishayananda Brahmananda. It's still all the same. Still all tastes of yourself. Okay, we'll end here. What verse are we on for next week?
24.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.